Hey, what's up guys? This is Scatch, and I'm going to talk to you about some common mistakes that players make and how to fix them. Some of the most common mistakes that you see from a lot of amateurs or semi-pros, even pros too. Using mobility is the biggest one right now, especially in this meta, Season 8. The reason is if you have a Rift or a launch pad, it is so good to have for placement points for late game. So you see a lot of people use it early game because they get themselves into bad fights they shouldn't take. So if you get those kind of items, launch pads and rifts, you don't want to really fight early game unless you're like insanely confident and you know the person's low on health or whatever it may be. You need to be like 100% sure, else it's not worth it, because then you might get into trouble. You might get third party from a different team, and you will have to use your mobility, and then you're screwed for late game if you get a bad zone. You know, a lot of luck with the zone. So to eliminate that luck, you use your rift, you use your launch pad, and you'll be fine. Use it early and you're screwed. To go back to what I just said though, with the early game fights and knowing when to take a fight, outside of zone, if the zone's over here and you're over here and there's a minute left and you see a guy, you don't want to be like, you're right here, he's right here, you see him, zone's all the way over here though. Why take that fight? There's no point. Just run to zone, worry about your kills later, worry about it later, because these fights, if it's a good player and you're decent, it'll last longer and you'll be in the blue, you'll be running away from the blue, you might even run into someone else and they might shoot at you and then your game's over. So many people make that mistake of fighting outside of zone. It's the biggest mistake that you see from amateurs. And it's frustrating for pros too, to run into that in scrims and whatnot. When people do that, like, we're not happy about it for sure. So try and avoid the out of zone fights as much as you can. You'll notice your placement will be a lot better and you'll win a lot more games if you don't do that, seriously. Early game, you want to, you use a lot of wood, right? Because there's a lot of wood and it's easy to get a lot of wood for fights. But when you get to late game and there's so many people around you in the smaller circles, you want to start using hard mats, so brick and steel, because they have more HP, right? So when you get into a zone, say you just land in a zone, you want to start using these hard mats, because if you just use this, people will think, oh, this guy doesn't really know what he's doing, or he doesn't have a lot of mats, and they'll spam you, and then another guy will spam you. Once one team starts to spam you, a lot more teams start to spam you. So you want to look strong at all times, and to do that, you do this, That's definitely one main thing to do. Know when to use certain types of materials with different circles and different rotates. Mat management is huge. You need to keep an eye on your materials at all times, especially when you're rotating. Just change mats if you have to, Like, just keep up with your mats. Don't have 5-0-5. Don't use all your brick, Have try and even it out if you can. Steel is very important for late game, or when you're just towering and trying to not get shot down. So when you're using wood mid to late game, it looks like you're weak to opponents. It just looks like you don't have the mat, the hard mats to actually build and get far. They think you're gonna be low, you're using wood, it's easy to shoot at, so they're gonna spam you, right? They're gonna do this, they're gonna break your wall, and you're gonna have to keep replacing it. And they're just gonna be like, okay, this guy's low mats, and then other people are gonna join that guy because you're continuing to build with wood late game when you should be using hard mats. So everyone just thinks you're low and you're a noob and they just spam you. That's what it comes down to. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next one.